What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and it's Friday, which means we've got a rules roundup from the lovely folks over at the Transformers trading card game. And there's a whole bunch of rulings I want to get through today, so let's just get straight into them. Wheeljack in bot mode. Wheeljack in bot mode has a very nice skill that says if you have a weapon in your scrap pile, you get bold free. So what happens if you've got a weapon in your scrap pile, but then while flipping cards, let's say the first two for your attack, because when you attack you flip a couple of battle cards, you run out of cards. When you run out of cards, you shuffle your discard pile, your scrap pile into your deck, it becomes your deck. So now you don't have a weapon in your scrap pile. Do you still get bold free? And the answer is yes, you do, because this is calculated when the attack starts. When the attack starts, you've got a weapon in your scrap pile. That will do nicely. So here's a slightly awkward one. You've got Silverbolt. Silverbolt has a lovely little skill whereby when you're attacking in alt mode and you flip at least one white, one orange and one blue icon, you flip to bot mode. Now when that happens, the attack actually happens in bot mode, so you end up with 3 attack rather than 2. Okay, that's nice. But we can compare that to Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend. Optimus Prime Battlefield Legend has a skill whereby you can play an action that you flip while attacking. So what happens if you use this to flip Thrust? Thrust has a skill in alt mode. When one of your other characters attacks, you may tap this. If you do, the attacker gets extra attack equal to this character's attack total. So how come when you flick Thrust into bot mode, you don't get to take advantage of the higher attack? And it has been confirmed that that is the way it works. And it's a little bit complicated, but essentially, Thrust uses its ability when the attack starts, and that's it, it's over. Optimus Prime goes, yo Thrust, I'm using you. Thrust goes, good work boy. Gets the +3 attack, and then even if you use rapid conversion to flip over Thrust, it's irrelevant. Thrust has already helped. Thrust's ability has worked and is over. Whereas if we're looking at Silverbolt here, you are attacking, while attacking you flip, but the attack is still going on, so you still get to use it. I hope that makes sense. It is a slightly weird one. Here's a fun one, Grapple. We got a couple of things for Grapple. Grapple has a really nice skill in bot mode. When you battle and flip battle icons of exactly 4 different colours, you get +4 attack and +4 defense. What about something like I Still Function that has no battle icon? No, it doesn't count. It's not a battle icon. Okay. Well, what about if you do get this skill working? Do you get the +4 and plus attack if I then get attacked afterwards? No. Because when you attack, your turn ends and it goes right back. So if you want to get +4 defense, you need to get this working while you're attacked. And if you want the +4 attack, you need to get this working when you are attacking. Essentially, you'll never actually get both of them at the same time, because you'll either be attacking or you'll be defending. We've also had a couple questions about Inverted. Now, Inverted is a really nice little card that came around in Wave 2, and it reads, when the upgraded character is battling, each orange icon you flip becomes a blue icon, and each blue icon becomes an orange icon. So what happens with Thermal Weaponry? Thermal Weaponry is a very nice card, whereby you get Pierce 1 for each blue icon you flip. Well, nice and simply, now you get 1 Pierce for each orange icon you flip, because you're swapping them around. There we go. And there was another question, and this counts for all abilities and everything else like that. Anything that refers to a specific colour of icon, Inverted changes the colour, so you have to read them as the inverted colour, not the regular colour. Now, we've also had some fairly complicated questions regarding Ancient Wisdom and Leap of Faith. Now, Ancient Wisdom allows you to scrap the top 2 cards of your deck and put an action and an upgrade scrapped into your hand, whereas Unleash Potential lets you bring a star card you own from outside the game into your hand. Clearly such a ridiculously broken card that people are trying to make it work. So what happens if you use Brainstorm? And then with the Brainstorm, whereby you're allowed to play 2 action cards, you play an Ancient Wisdom and a Leap of Faith, and it's very unlikely. But what if you just happen to flip 2 Unleash Potentials? You play them both. The important thing here is Ancient Wisdom says you may play Unleash Potential. Generally speaking, there's no question of what if I play 2, because you can only play 1 action card, that's Ancient Wisdom. Ancient Wisdom lets you play an Unleash Potential, and you're rolling. But Leap of Faith lets you play the top 2 cards of your deck, so you can essentially play 1 Ancient Wisdom, and then play Leap of Faith, which then allows you potentially to hit 2 Unleash Potential, and then you get both of them working at once. And then presumably this would also count for other things that let you play extra actions, whether it's a second Brainstorm or whether it's a Bumblebee Trusted Lieutenant. Either way, this just got a heck of a lot more interesting. On a related note, when you play Leap into Battle, you play the first card, then you play the second card. So if you flipped over Unleash Potential, and then you flipped over Ancient Wisdom, you would not be able to pop a star card in your hand from outside the game because you played them in the wrong order. You've got to go Ancient Wisdom and then Unleash Potential, or it doesn't work. So here's an interesting one. Let's say we've got a combiner part. Let's just say Razor Claw. There's a million ones we can use here. And Razor Claw, when you flip it into bot mode, you can attack untapped characters as though they were tapped. What happens when you then form it using Predacon Enigma into Predaking? Can Predaking then attack untapped characters? And the answer is yes. We've looked at a couple rulings along these lines lately, but the short version is when you combine, you keep what's on all the combiners. You keep the damage that's on them. You keep the upgrades, although 1 weapon, 1 armor, 1 utility, unless it says otherwise. You also keep stuff like this, which is kind of cool. Now, there was an interesting one here involving Peace Through Tyranny and Turn Order. So what happens if both players have 1 tapped bot and 1 untapped bot in play? You play Peace Through Tyranny and you sacrifice your untapped bot. You now have no untapped bots, they're all tapped, but you're still the active player. So what happens? The answer is you continue your turn. You can still play an upgrade, you can still flip a transformer, but you can't attack because tapped characters cannot attack. Then, of course, because you've used Peace Through Tyranny, you get a second turn immediately, but you still don't get to attack because you don't have any untapped characters. So you can still play another action, another upgrade, flip another transformer, but you don't get any extra attacks. You get an extra turn, but you only get to attack with an untapped character, and you have no untapped characters. You could still use something like a Bolt of Lightning to deal some damage as an action card. You could still flip over a bot like Thundercracker to do some extra damage by flipping, but you don't get to actually attack. And we're going to finish off with a couple of questions that both have to do with Volcanicus because, well, frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a fan of Volcanicus. So what happens if you've got all 5 Dinobots in bot mode in the KO area and you play Dinobot Enigma? And this is another one of those answers which comes down to do what it says. Dinobot Enigma says if you have 5 Dinobots in bot mode on the battlefield and or in your KO area, combine them into Volcanicus. If you've got 1 character in bot mode on the battlefield, you combine on the battlefield. But if all 5 Dinobots are in the KO area, you combine in the KO area. Now, you could still play I Still Function and bring it back for 1 turn with 1 health, but if all of the characters are in the KO area, you combine in the KO area. It's not going to apply to most of the combiners, But because of the whole Grimlock and his ability putting characters from the outside the game into the KO area, this could legitimately happen, which is kind of weird. And then finally, to finish off, what happens if you're attacking with Dinobot Snarl with 1 health remaining, attacking a Volcanicus with Electrified Spikes? Now, Electrified Spikes reads, put on Dinobots only. When the upgraded character defends and you flip at least 2 orange icons, do 1 damage to the attacker. Now, this is another one of those questions that comes down to order of play. Does it happen simultaneously? Does the KO happen before Electrified Spikes come in? Or does Electrified Spikes get the KO? And the answer is Electrified Spikes happens before attack damage. So Volcanicus gets a KO with Electrified Spikes, and Dinobot Snarl does not get a KO because he never actually does any damage. And then I wanted to finish with this one because we've got another beautiful answer from the rules team. Alternatively, you could try telling Volcanicus to stop hitting himself. That'll do for this week, ladies and gentlemen. They are the rules that came out this week that I think we need to talk about, so I've popped them into this here video. As always, if you've got any questions about these rules or any others, chuck them down in the comment section, and I'm sure myself or some other lovely person will get to them presently. But until then, make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, where we talk Transformers, but we also talk other games. And then, of course, the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.